Next person that is coming up is, wow, awesome. So, Waziri Cynthia. This guy's an excellent footballer. Wow. I hope your idea is about football, though.
Good morning, everyone. Please allow me to digress a little bit, just a little. They said we should come out and talk about our ideas, but I feel, okay, I'm in international relations and political science, so the way I see politics obviously will be different from the way other people see it. Now, instead of coming to bore you, so to say, about how to change Africa and Nigeria, I'll tell you that we should change our mentality, and consequently and automatically, the country will change. The fact is, all of us here are Africans, but we don't know what an African is or what it means to be an African. Now, Africa is portrayed as a continent of death and starvation, where hunger is prevalent and there are tribal and communal clashes. But the fact is, today Africa is the youngest continent in the world. 70% of our 1 billion population is under 25, which means we are youths. Nnamdi Azikiwe said, "Give me back my youth and I'll pay any price for it." In Canada, most of us know, a large number of their population is old. So they are looking for young people to come and help continue the economy. In Africa, we have that, and due to slavery, we know all of us here that Africans naturally are strong and we can help grow the economy. Now, what does it mean to be African? There's a misconception that to be African, you have to be black. That's not true. Most of us here that watch football know that if I keep Mohamed Salah and I keep Paul Pogba, the ladies here might think Pogba is an African. But the fact is, Salah is the African from Egypt. Now, being black is not about color or language. It's a mind state. The way an African thinks is totally different from the way a European thinks. Okay, the Igbo people, for example, if you keep an Igbo man, give him a business to start, he would learn how to grow it. He would learn how to, from selling spare parts, he would learn how to import containers. That's innovation. Now, Africans are bound together by the history that Europeans want us to believe. Marcus Garvey said, colonialism is not part of Africa's history. Colonialism interrupted Africa's history. In most books you read today, they will tell us that before the coming of the Europeans, Africans didn't wear clothes. The fact is, we didn't need clothes, so to say, because our weather here is hot, so you don't expect someone living in Sokoto to be putting on suits to sleep. It's not attainable, it's not rational. Now, the challenges that we face in Africa are peculiar to us, so it's only natural that we try to devise means that will help us counter those challenges. But the problem now is, in Africa, we try to import solutions that work in other places, and that cannot work. The president of economics said, he was talking about the Malthusian theory. I disagree with it, because people criticized the Malthusian theory and said that he said population grows geometrically and then the production of food is arithmetic. That is attainable in
Please, moderator, this topic is getting a little bit interesting. Let's hear him out. Let's hear him.
Yes, but the fact is, in Europe, in Israel, in developed countries outside Africa, you can say that you can criticize his theory because population is growing dramatically, and because of the fact that they have advanced technology, the production of food is not arithmetic, so it's in line with their growing population. But that doesn't happen in Africa. In Africa, the food production is dwindling because most of us feel agriculture is getting our hands dirty. So we can't read a book talking about or criticizing the Malthusian theory in America or in Britain, then we'll bring it back to Nigeria. That's very wrong, and that's the idea I want us to change. Let us be critical in our thinking. Now, there are books teaching us how to repair cars, repair engines, build a house, but there are very few books that teach us how to build a nation. Why is that? Because most of the people writing are Europeans, and if you read well, you know that most of these people don't want us to be developed. Because Africa, after colonialism and slavery, turned to a dumping ground for Europeans. So if we eventually develop, nobody will buy their goods because we're producing, and if you are producing, you would not buy from other people. That's, okay, in conclusion, I would end with this saying: the narrative will always glorify the hunter until the lion learns to write. I say again, the narrative will always glorify the hunter until the lion learns to write. What does this mean? It is said normally that it's the winners of the war that write history or that tell what happens in the war. In Africa, if you don't learn how to harness our ideas, learn how to grow from our cultural and traditional perspectives, it will be pointless trying to bring ideas to change the country, because in the first place, we don't even know what you are trying to tackle. Now, climate change is an issue in most parts of the world, but in Africa, it's, so to say, less. The effects are less, even though in the riverine areas in Delta, it's much there, but you can't tell me that the level of, or the effect that climate change has on some parts of the world is the same here, because the way we are not industrialized to an extent that our industries pollute the environment. But these are the things that these Europeans bring to us to mislead us from the things that actually matter. So I believe that all of us here should go back, think of ways to develop the country instead of just reading books that these Europeans write in order to change, because the change is not going to come. That's just the fact.
Thank you, Waziri. Before you take your seat, we are grading you all, and we're going to pick your profiles at the end of the day. Now, you mentioned, the fact that 70% of Nigerians today, most of them are falling to youth category, which I want to agree with in principle, But recently, Nigerians suffered a lot of deportation from Libya. They want to go to Italy, but they never crossed Italy. Rather, they all perish. Most of them perish in the river, and majority of them are youths. What idea are you selling to us by Sully Lamak University? And majority of them are from one state of this nation. I don't want to mention the state, so that at the end of the day, those from that state will not stone me. You all know the state. Now, there may be pockets of them from other states. The mindset of many of you here is, I want to go abroad after my first degree, after my convocation. Well, that is your opinion. But the issue of leaving the country, what do you think? What idea? I'm sure you are talking from the perspective of your field. What idea do you think you will harness to ensure our youths remain in this nation, develop this nation, and make the best of this nation, and secure this nation?
In order to fully answer this question, we need to understand the causes or why people decide to migrate from their country or their continent and go to Europe. The fact is the employment rate there is higher, so Africans believe that if I can get to Europe, I would certainly get a job. So if the government can effectively create means and measures to employ people, I think the number will be reduced. That's one. Two, I believe we change the mentality that I need my certificate to get a job, because, okay, majority of Nigerians feel that they go to school to get a job, but school is just a means to an end. I believe we should learn how to create employment opportunities for ourselves. Just like she said she wants to create a fashion industry. By that, she would obviously employ Nigerians. So You can't tell me that, okay, you know, as a person, you can't now go to Libya to look for a job. Why? Because you are employed. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if a higher number of us are employed, it should reduce the number of people going there. That's what I think.